such an important work, and in terms of also, I mean, spreading the message, because I mean, anti-corruption and good governance and transparency, it's something that we are to hold our politicians accountable in Sweden and in Nigeria, but it's also the role of each and one of us, all citizens and media and the people of Nigeria and Sweden are key in fighting corruption. And also, just to finally say that, I mean, in terms of anti-corruption, we believe, of course, in Sweden we pay a lot of taxes. We have a system, a welfare system that is heavily depending on the ability to raise taxes. That's also a very important point made in the book. I mean, and that to be able to have a well-functioning society, a welfare state, you need taxes and you need the citizen to contribute to that welfare system. But in order for them to do so and to want to do so, obviously the taxpayers' money must be used in a good way, so that you know that when you pay taxes, it goes to services that will come back to you, to good education, to good hospital and healthcare systems. And that, I think, is key in the development of society at large. And I think that's a very interesting and important topic to follow closely in Nigeria. How I know that the tax base is unfortunately very low in Nigeria, so making it very difficult for people to access basic services like education, health. So in our mission here, we try to support and to partner with Nigeria in the development of strong institutions that are able to, first of all, collect taxes, but also making sure that the taxes are being used in a transparent manner and benefiting the people of Nigeria. And that will not only benefit single individual, that will benefit and make Nigeria as a country prosper. So we look forward to continue to partner with Accountability Lab, to have these exchanges about how we have structured our society, what we think is important. We still have a long way to go, but we're happy to tell our story and what we have achieved so far in terms of anti-corruption, in terms of managed use of public resources. And I hope that you will all be present at the Integrity Icon Summit in January, where you will all be able to meet and hear Claudia Wallin, who has written this book, Sweden, the Untold Story, about the journey Sweden has done and how politicians in particular are held to account for their actions and also are treated like everyone else. And once again, I think that's quite unique, that you see politicians biking to work, that you see politicians doing their own laundry and picking up their children from school at 5 p.m. So all those small things, but that really makes you believe in the politicians, that they're doing their job, and their job is to be held into account and to make the changes in societies that they've been elected to do by the people and by the assembly also. So I hope that was a good introduction, but happy to answer any questions. If you have any questions, please.
In as much as it's not easy, it is doable. It's something that if we set our hearts to do, it is something we can achieve. I say corruption is not a day thing, but it can end in a day. And that begins with each and every one of us if we want it to end.
We need people to stand up to take action. We just need people to stand up to do the right thing. A person of integrity working for government, we have heard Bukola, who is one of them, and she said it's not easy. Not easy being like, we know the society we're in. For you to stand out with integrity, it takes a lot. You need to be brave. You just need to be brave to do this. And somehow, the work we do has to be in partnerships or collaboration. We have ICPC here, we have Step Up, we have the Sweden, we have a couple of other people here. you just need to speak to people and engage and see what the best solution is and inform people like you are doing this and what solution, but yes, it's doing the right thing. What does it take for you to do the right thing? The media really plays a huge role in, it plays a huge role in educating the society which we live in, and we can't fall back on that. So we also have to encourage, and we've had the weak side of them not being paid, which means a couple of them have to do what they have to do to survive and all that stuff. But in the society which we are, we just have to find a way to always do the right thing. Tracy had mentioned, how do we get this down to the doorsteps of citizens? We have several programs running in Nigeria trying to affect the society. I think that's one way. We can't reach all the communities, we can't reach all the locations, but we work in, that's why we have to collaborate to engage the society in itself. Also looking at ICPC, which has a large reach, which we have some backing from them. I'll also allow Anna to introduce herself and say a few words.
I'm a board member with the ICPC, and speaking particularly on this issue, there's a program the ICPC is running, the Constituency Project Tracking, which basically, what it does is the projects that are allocated to different communities for the less privileged, but then sometimes they end up not being done, and then you can't even find the money. So we're launching a program that allows you to know which project is for your community and if the funds have been allocated. But that's just one part of it. The other part of it is a sensitization program called community ownership. We have to go down to the communities working with the National Orientation Agency, because they seem to have an office in every local government. So working with them, we have to sensitize the communities. Okay, these are the projects for you and you have to watch out for them. This is what has been allocated. So the community has to play a role and then we play the other role. If it doesn't work, we will now follow up on that. And they have to tell us that this doesn't work, because we can't be everywhere at the same time. So it has to be a joint effort with the government and the community for the betterment of the people in any case. And for the media, I think where we are now, for the citizens of Nigeria, all we have to do is sacrifice, all of us. If you're a media person, to air a story, it's a sacrifice you have to make.
I'll just touch a little bit upon the Swedish model and history in terms of accountability and reaching and managing to change and to build a society that is free from, partly or almost free from corruption, and with an accountability system. And I believe, first of all, and once again, that's why a meeting like this is so important. But I think media has such an important role to play. So making sure that there is a freedom of press is one of the most effective way to having a society and a political system that is being held to account. And I must say, I've been in Nigeria for a year, and I think the media landscape in this country is absolutely fantastic. I mean, what the number of brilliant journalists that do as a gentleman over there was saying, I mean, sacrificing sometimes, themselves and their own security to push an agenda, I think is tremendous to see, and the debate that is going on in media is fantastic. So I think you as part of this media landscape, keep on doing what you're doing and be perseverant, and because I really believe that has been key in Sweden, to have a strong press and a strong media, and that is happening, I mean, weekly in Sweden. You get stories about pointing out single individuals at all levels that has not used taxpayers' money, or that has not obeyed to certain regulations. So that is key. And then going back to what the ambassador said, this Swedish word ombudsman, that is also public authorities that are open for citizens to complain to check what other institutions are doing, I think is key as well. And I'm actually very happy to say that I believe 2 weeks ago in Nigeria, the first African Regional Ombudsman Conference was held, bringing together all different ombudsman authority in West Africa to gather them and to empower them and having knowledge exchange. So obviously things have come a long way in this region as well, and I think that's commendable. And then once again, also, I mean, I think it's all about feeling. I think Sweden is one of the countries where the citizens have the strongest trust in public institutions, and that's obviously not something that happens over a lifetime. And it's easy to say, you know, when you've experienced breaches of laws by institutions, it's difficult to feel trust. But I really believe that it's so important that each one of us tries to develop this mutual beneficial relationship and this trustful relationship with public institutions. So I think what is happening here, that bringing out and showcasing that there are incredible and trustworthy people working in public institutions and shedding light on those people to rebuild this trust is key. And obviously that everyone working for public institutions feel proud about that, and you really use that as a and really feel proud and also use the power that you have as a public servant in the most accountable and good way as possible. And then, finally, I think social movements in Sweden have played a key role. We will not be here today if citizens go together and mobilize socially, jointly. So what has been said now by Oda as well in terms of active citizenship and community ownership, as was said, I think is absolutely key, because you cannot just sit on your own corner and blame politicians or blame. You must step up yourself and take action yourself and try to do it jointly as you are doing here today. I think that's fantastic, and that has gotten Sweden a long way also. That the citizens have come together and really put pressure together jointly. Yes.
Those media outlets that charge you for certain amount, because investigating journalism is not just you wake up in a day and begin to do it. Take for instance, if I am going into investigating report, and which is not officially assigned by my editor, and I have decided to do it by myself, and probably I'm traveling to United States of America. Of course, for that purpose alone, and if I don't have a sponsorship, who that is behind investigating, you have to sponsor me. I really want, even where you really want on your own, but there must be a limit. So I really want you to understand that in every profession there are ethics. And sometimes, you cannot do it. Take for instance, like this Information Act. Personally, I know the number of agencies that are reaching on requesting information. Sometimes they will require me to go back to our website. And when I get back to their website, I hardly see anything. What I really imagine. As I'm talking, when they signed this Information Act, I just sent it in the office of the President. I wrote requesting information in his office. They acknowledge it. As I'm talking to you, up to date, there was no any information. And when you go, the security will, you know how it is, for one to penetrate into inside the lab. So I really want that my friend to know that there is a limit that a journalist can do, even when you take it upon yourself. Thank you.
We're trying as much as we can to add value to the quality of service that government agencies are rendering to Nigerians. We are working around a document that is called National Strategy on Public Service Reforms, which has 4 pillars. And Pillar 1 is driven by Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, which is basically looking around how to make Nigerian environment conducive for businesses to thrive, for entrepreneurs to invest and feel free with their investments. And that works around the anti-corruption agencies that are, I think, with us here: ICPC, EFCC, Institute of Conflict Resolution. Around all these pillars, we have responsibility for civil society groups to ask questions, to guide us, to critique, and direct us on what they think we should do better. The Bureau is a member of Steering Committee on OGP. We are participating actively in all OGP activities. We are glad to say that we are the first government agency to have an electronic FOI portal on our website. Apart from having that on our website, we are encouraging all government agencies to have that on their websites. Furthermore, we have developed a program that is called Scorecard for Ranking of Government Websites. This is working in line with the Executive Order 001 and the OGP commitments that is directing government agencies to open up their services, to provide information on everything around them on their website. That program started last year. We did the first scoring. We are currently scoring government agencies for 2019. And we're saying in that criteria, all government agencies must have electronic FOI portal. All government agencies must have a working email address that you can send text emails and somebody will respond to. All government agencies must have working telephone numbers that the citizens can engage, ask questions. Initially, when we started, the response was not encouraging. But after the first scoring, and when the results were announced during the Federal Executive Council, the winners were celebrated, the losers were asked to do better. We have seen additional interest by government agencies around meeting the criteria and uplifting the standard of their websites. Now, as we are doing that, as a bureau, we engage quite a lot with the civil society groups, and currently, as I'm talking to you, we have arranged a program that is holding on in Raw Materials and Research Development Center, which is bringing civil society groups and NGOs together for them to understand what are their responsibilities in this engagement. And some people may not believe this, but wherever we go, the President says to us, government agencies must open up for the citizens to have information about our workings. He's always saying that citizens have the right to be informed, they have the right to ask questions, and we must respond to those questions. And I remember during the last retreat for ministers, he asked them whether they knew anything about OGP, and some of them knew. And then he said, these are the things that are expected out of you in terms of transparency, opening up, and provision of information to citizens. So I think we're on course. It's not an easy track. It's not an easy adventure, but it's a little bit easier where you have the leadership owning the program and having interest in it. And we have a president that is ready to open up. I think I can see green light at the end of the tunnel. So basically, this is what we are doing, and many others that time will not permit me to discuss. Thank you.
What do we think is the missing link? Is it that we don't have people? So the president has given an order, organizations like ICT is working and BPFSR is working. What do we think is the missing link?
I think strongly that the bureau is more like an advocacy organization within government, and there's not so much power that BPFSR have in trying to ensure that these things that we all agree are important to move our people forward when it comes to transparency So the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who happens to be one of the most powerful presidents in the world, according to our constitution, in any democracy on the planet, gives an executive order. And we get to, UPSR does a lot of work, including what is corporate, to say these organizations have followed this order, and these organizations have not followed this order. And then the Federal Executive Council meeting, we identify the people who have followed the order and celebrate them. But the people who have not followed the order, we give them a job, tell them do better, and finance them. So there is no incentive aside from, I don't know if altruism is the word here, or personal or individual leadership capacity of their professional or different people. So we follow the order about constitution in our identity in Nigeria. And I think that's the mistake. It annoys me, again, to be honest, that we know that this is what we should do. And the law, the cajole, the persuade, MBAs in our government to do this thing that we should do. And the PSR can't really do anything to say that these organizations have not done what we expect them to do. And we're going to fire the DG or the person who is supposed to be in charge. And then nothing happens. So over again, people with leadership capacity, with good intention, with passion, come to the PPSR or maybe to ICPC or to organizations that are trying to make things go forward. And they can't really do much. So my question to you, sir, don't you think that we should go back to National Assembly and give more powers to the PSR and maybe the ICPC to include in the act that establishes the organization and say that any DG who are not able to apply this particular recommendation should recommend them to the FPC for a sack or for a punishment of some sort that would really incentivize people to, or whoever are living in the is to be able to take steps. Because I think until we do that, then we are just advocating within the government. And I think that job should be for the CSO, not an organization or an agency within the government. Those are my thoughts. And again, thank you very much.
Towards the tail end of your comments, you have answered your question. We want civil society groups to come out, ask questions, push government workers to work, to perform, and to deliver. Around the work we are doing on transparency, apart from the celebration and shaming and during the Federal Executive Council, we have come up with capacity development programs to upskill website administrators and managers in MDAs. Not only that we are encouraging them and asking them to comply, we are indirectly forcing them to do that. But for some reasons, we will not say how we are doing it, but we are forcing them to abide by that directive on scorecard, and which is around transparency. Now, thirdly, let us not look at government workers as a segment or independent or different from the society. We must own Nigeria. We must be willing to work. We must be willing to perform. Leaders or leadership of these organizations are extracts from amongst us in the society. I think we need additional patriotism on this side and on the other side that we are, to know that whatever we do that is good, at the end of it, all of us will benefit. And whatever we tend to do because we think is not important, at the end, the consequences will be negative, and all of us will be the beneficiaries of that negative outcome that is coming. So we are looking at going out again to say we need reorientation and possible change of DNA among us in government, and even to change the DNA of agencies of government. As you said, it's not easy. They are trying their best. We are trying our best, but I think we are making some significant progress. In the last 1 month, more than 17 agencies, federal agencies from Port Harcourt, from Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Lagos came to us to see what is this thing you are forcing us to do. What do we need to do different from what we are doing? Specifically, we spent about 1 week with NIMASA and MPA to see how we can open up their websites. Because once you go there, it's just the basic information about them. But if you want to go deeper, you cannot access because they say you are not their customer. Their customers have access code to access their website. We say no, you have to open it up for everybody to see what is there. But we are making progress. I'm hopeful that we'll get there. Thank you.